Welcome back to Decked Out.
On today's episode, we are joined by Cherries, and it is April, so that means we are playing our all 4 mana commander pod.
That's right, because every month for this entire year, we are doing 1 pod per month where all the commanders have the same mana value as the number of the month.
All right, and those decks were submitted by patrons Twilight Sovereign, Wesley, Knight of Bawa, and Kelvor.
And as always, thank you to our sponsors, Tales of Adventure, Moxfield, and Ultimate Guard, but more on them later in the video.
All right, that's enough from us for now. Let's go ahead and see which 4 mana commanders were submitted.
Hey everyone, I'm Cherries, content creator for Magic and non-Magic content alike. And today I'm playing Roshin, Roaring Prophet, submitted by Kelvor. In this deck, well, as you may be able to guess by Roshin, it's an X-Spell deck. Go big, make lots and lots and lots and lots of mana, put it into your X-Spells, and cast something huge that nobody can beat.
Today, thanks to Knight of Bawa, I get to play my favorite Microsoft Office product, Ixhel Scion of Atraxa. The name of the game is Toxicity, so naturally we have a system where we get down an early creature with Infect before my opponents get a chance to block. They get poison counters early, we proliferate them up to 3, and then Ixhel generates card advantage that gets us the rest of the way throughout the game.
I'm VeggieWagon, and today I get to play a Satya Aetherflux Genius deck submitted by our patron, the Twilight Sovereign. Now this is clones with attitude. Yikes, never doing that again. If we can get a non-token clone of Satya on the board, then they can start targeting each other, making millions and millions of Satya clones, and from that point on, we just kind of figure out how to win.
Today, for 4 mana cost commanders, I am playing Teysa Karlov. This list was submitted by one of our patrons, Wesley, who says that this is his pride and joy, which is amazing because I love Orzhov, so I'm really excited to get to see Wesley's spin on this aristocrat sacrifice deck. Today's featured sponsor is Ultimate Guard.
Ultimate Guard is the ultimate way to guard your collection. Oh, I just blew my mind. They have everything from deck boxes to sleeves to carrying cases and everything in between.
Yeah, they even have more options than ever. Now that they've partnered up with Wizards, you can get all of your favorite art and customize your play experience. You guys know my favorite set recently is Bloomburrow, so you guys always see me with the sweet alternate Bloomburrow art.
And sometimes just what you need to bring your brain back to earth is a thick ribbit.
No. So make sure you guys head on over to the link in the description to support the show and pick up all of the accessories that you need in your life.
Now it's time to hop on over with your leggy toad to the game that we're about to play.
Welcome to the table. Let's see who goes first.
15?
11.
15.
All right, go Veggie. This is the first time I'll ever root for you.
Come on, Airball.
11?
17.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Play an island. Pass the turn.
Okay. Bleachborn, Verge, and pass.
Land and Glistener Elf. It's a 1/1 infect, and we'll pass.
Ew. Don't like
Already?
Oh, that is so gross. I'll play a tap Castle Embereth and I will pass.
Yeah, all I got is Mountain and Talisman of Progress and pass.
All right, no poison for me. Plains, Ellis Ilkor, Sadistic Pilgrim. A 2/2 with Death Touch. This is whenever another creature I control enters the battlefield, I get to gain a life, and whenever a creature I control leaves, each opponent loses a life, and then I'll pass.
All right, well, we'll just come in at Veggie for 1 infect.
Yep.
Then we'll play a sad, isolated chapel and say go.
I will play an Exotic Orchard, which can tap for green, very importantly. And I will play a Steve. Everyone knows Steve, I can sack him for mana. Pass.
I'm gonna try and not miss my land drop. I'm gonna cast the 3 steps ahead, but just for draw 2 and discard a card.
Did you at least hit your land drop, Veggie?
I did.
Okay.
I will discard this replication technique, and yeah, I'll play this Rogran Triome and pass.
Let's play Fetid Heath as my land for turn, and my creature will be a Delny Streetwise Lookout. It's a 2/2. Creatures I control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. If an ability of a creature I control with power 2 or less would trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. And then I am gonna go ahead and move to combat and, you know, Airball, I don't like poison, take 2.
I will take 2.
And I'll pass.
I was really glad when he attacked you first, and because I knew I'd have Steve for next turn.
Yep, you do have Steve, and I can't attack NerdGirl. So, Glistener Elf coming for Veggie one more time.
Yeah.
I'll play a land for turn, and then I'll cast a Talisman of Resilience. And then here's 2 for a Plague Mirror. It is a 1/1 infect, taps for 1 mana. And pass to Joe.
More infect, yay.
End step, because I am that kind of commander player. We'll go get a land.
Yeah.
Play a second forest, tap, and we're gonna play the commander, Roshin, Roaring Prophet. When Roshin enters the battlefield, mill 6 cards, and then I can put a card with X in its mana cost from among them into my hand. And then I can tap her to reveal any number of X cards from my hand. For each one revealed, I make 2 Wingdings, and then I will only be able to use that mana on X spells. So if you can't guess, this is an X-themed deck. All right, so we'll mill over these cards right here. We have 2 choices. I can return Heaven, or I can return Smoke Spirit's Aid. I will return the Smoke Spirit's Aid to my hand. X gonna give it to you. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna play a Plains. I'm gonna pay 2 for another Talisman, and then I'm going to spend my remaining 4 for Kaith, Famed Mechanist. 3/3 with Fabricate 1, so I can either put a counter on her or make a servo. And other non-token creatures I control have Fabricate 1. I can pay 2 and tap her to populate or proliferate. I think I'm making a 1/1. There's my servo, and pass the turn.
Let's play a land for turn, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and pay 4 for Elenda the Dusk Rose. A 1/1 with lifelink that says whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on her. And when she dies, I get to create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is her power. I will get an Ellis Ilkor trigger, and I did notice that I forgot mine last turn, and everybody's nice to me. So I will get to gain 4 life from Ellis Ilkor being doubled by Denley once last turn, once this turn.
All right, so now kill her.
And then I'll pass the turn.
Okay. Here is a Talisman of Unity, and then we'll pay 4 for Hand of the Praetors. It is a 3/2 infect. Creatures I control with infect get +1/+1, and whenever I cast a creature spell with infect, target player gets a poison counter.
What?
Oh.
What? You just have to cast?
That's a creature spell with infect. But you guys all have your pants up, so I can't do anything. I'll pass for now.
Yay. All right, I want to note, I started this game with 2 X spells in hand. And we're gonna activate this.
Oh no.
How many do we think it is? Because we've got
At least 3.
We've got 2. We've got 3. We've got 4. We've got 5.
What?
Ooh! I had 2 of those to start. We've drawn 3 off of my draws. So we are gonna add 10 X mana here. So we now have 10 floating manas, which I'm gonna use all right away to dump into X equals 7 on my Borocyst. It's got Ravenous, so if X is 5 or greater, I draw a card when it enters. It is. It's got Defender, and when it enters with that many +1/+1 counters as well. And then I get to go get X basic lands and put them onto the battlefield tapped. So 7. Going Steve into Roshin into Sporocyst the very next turn, with Roshin making 8 mana, has to be the ideal start for this deck. Honestly, I don't know if I could draw a better opening hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am not the threat. Go ahead.
I'm gonna play an island, and it's commander in time. Here's Satya Aetherflux Genius, 3/5 Menace Haste. When it attacks, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of another non-token creature I control. Then I get 2 energy, and at the beginning of my end step, I sacrifice the token I made unless I pay energy equal to its mana value. And then, oh hey, look at that. It's a Whirler Virtuoso. an ideal target for Satya. It enters, I will get 3 energy, and then I can pay 3 energy to make a Thopter. Whirler Virtuoso is the ideal early target for Satya because it pays for itself energy-wise, and it's not too big of a threat where everybody else at the table is like, well, we have to stop him right now. Oh, my non-token creatures have Fabricate. I will also make another servo when Satya enters and when Whirler Virtuoso enters. So we've got 3 servos. I will go to combat, and Joe, here is 3 Menace commander damage for you. And on attack, I will make a copy of Whirler Virtuoso, which is attacking Airball. And then I will also get 2 more energy from Satya's trigger.
3 more energy from Whirler Virtuoso?
And 3 more energy from Whirler. Wow, this energy seems pretty strong.
Yeah, no blocks here.
And yeah, I have no blocks because that has Menace.
All right, 3 damage, 2 damage.
I don't know who I should be scared of.
At the end of my turn, I'm not gonna pay energy for this Whirler Virtuoso copy, so it's just gonna get sacrificed. Pass.
All right, let's go ahead and pay 2 for a Zulaport Cutthroat. A 1/1 that says whenever a creature I control dies, each opponent loses a life and I gain a life. I will get an Ellis Ilkor trigger, which will happen twice thanks to Delney. And then I'm just gonna go to combat, and 7 free lands is too much. I'm going to attack for 1, which is unblockable to you, Joe.
That is fair. I will
gain a life.
take it.
Ooh, got him.
And then I will pass the turn.
Okay, we'll start here. We're gonna cast Whisper of the Dross. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn and proliferate. So I'm gonna hit Elenda, and I'm gonna proliferate Veggie. So you'll get an energy and you'll get a poison.
Airball's play to kill Elenda was great. It made sure I didn't get any value from her, but unfortunately, it was really great because they don't know I have no other creatures in hand, so I really, really needed her to trigger and get me a few extra. So unfortunately, Elenda will die, but I won't get a vampire because her power is 0, but I will get double Zulaport and double Ellis trigger, so each opponent will take 4 and I'll gain 2. Goodbye, Elenda.
Okay, and then for taking a pain, for Ixhel Scion of Atraxa. It's a flying vigilance toxic 2/5, and at the beginning of my end step, every opponent who has 3 or more poison counters exiles the top card of their library, and I get to play it for as long as I have it. And then we'll come in with the team at Joe.
Oh, ooh, why?
Because I want you to get up to 3 poison.
Yeah, that's fair.
So 3/2, 2/2, 2/2, all infect.
Well, I guess I'll block 3/2.
Okay, so that'll lose 4 counters, and you'll take 4 poison. Or it'll go to 4 counters, sorry, you lose 3 counters. Then I'll pass through to end step, and Ixhel will trigger, and I'll get the top of Veggie's and Joe's library conveniently in the same color sleeves. Face down, actually, but...
Well,
oops.
Yep, and I'll pass.
Yeah. Let's tap this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same ones as before. As I'll reveal, I will get 8 floating mana I can use on X spells. I can do math. 4 more. So 12. I'd like to put one of these on every creature that's not mine. Smoke Spirit's Aid. For every single creature on the battlefield that's not mine, they're all going to get a red aura enchantment that's attached to them. And then when those creatures die, the controller will take 1 damage, but I will make a treasure. And then we will flash back from the graveyard Earth to deal X damage to each non-flying creature, and X is 5 in this case. The combination play of Smoke Spirit's Aid and everyone's favorite Magic card name, Earth, lets me absolutely demolish and take the lead. But it's really hard to tell. I'm only winning on mana, and I am struggling on resources realistically. The other players don't know that though, and it just looks like I'm dominating.
In response, I'm gonna make 3 Thopters.
Oh no, they fly! They fly!
So yeah, that's all 9 of my energy, but I'll get 3 Thopters out of it.
All right. Ixhel will live, everything else will die.
I will have 3 creatures die. Zulaport, Cutthroat, and Ellis Ilkor will see all 3 of themselves all die, which Delny will give me double triggers. So I will get 6 triggers of Ellis, so everybody will take 6, and I will get 6 triggers of Zulaport. Everybody will take another 6, and I will gain 6. So 12 for you guys and 6 for me.
Cool.
They all see themselves die sounds so traumatic.
Go down to 5 treasures, using a total of 6 to cast Hell to Pay. Deal X damage to target creature and create X tap treasures where X is the amount of excess damage dealt. But I'm dealing exactly 5 because I don't feel like trading my untapped treasures for tap treasures. So I would like to deal 5 to Ixal. Die!
This will also ping me for 1 when it dies, and you'll get a treasure.
Oh, we should have taken a bunch more damage because of those little smokes.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I might as well draw cards before I die, apparently. I'm gonna pay 4 for a Thopter Spy Network. Beginning my upkeep, if I control an artifact, I make a Thopter, and whenever 1 or more artifact creatures I control deal combat damage to a player, I draw a card. I still will go to combat, and I will send 1 Thopter at each of my opponents for 1 damage.
No blocks.
No blocks.
No blocks.
I'm going to cast a Frantic Search to draw 2 cards, discard 2, and untap 3 lands, because I did not draw good cards. I'll pitch this land and a Solar Transformer and just untap those. I'll play an Ether Hub as my land, which will give me an energy. I will finish up with Saheeli, the Sun's Brilliance. 2/2, and I can pay 2 and tap to create a token that's a copy of another artifact or creature I control, except it's also an artifact, but then I have to sacrifice it at my end step. Pass.
I'm gonna go ahead and just tap 3 for a Phyrexian Altar. I can sacrifice a creature to add 1 mana of any color, and that'll do it. I'll pass.
Okay. We'll play Veggie's Talisman of Conviction.
Thanks.
And then 4 for Joe's Exocrine with X equals 1. When Exocrine enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to each player and each other creature. So 1 damage.
Come on!
Whoa. Okay.
My servos.
I'll just pass to Joe.
I will start my turn by making myself more of a problem. I will play Nexus. Say 2/2, my basic lands can tap for 2 Wingdings to cast spells that cost X. Ping myself for 1 damage, go down to 17, and then I will make 8 total mana here. Tyrant Guard. It's got Ravenous, so when it enters with 5 more counters, which I've done it for 5 more, I will draw a card. And then I can sacrifice it, and creatures you control with counters on them gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Or I guess, no, technically it's a 9/9, and I will draw a card.
Ooh.
I will then make a red mana. How big is that little guy over there?
3.
It's 3. I will tap, and I will play this Sudden Demise. For X equals 4, I will choose red. In the color I choose, I deal damage to each creature of the chosen color. So we will deal 4 damage to each red creature.
Sure.
Start over.
I love this card. Please save me. Temple Scry.
Sequencing.
I'll leave that on top. What do you mean sequencing?
Got him.
Got him.
Go.
At my upkeep, I'm gonna make a Thopter because I do control an artifact. I will play a Plaza of Heroes, which can 1 time save my legendary creature by giving it hexproof and indestructible. And I guess I need a legendary creature for it to protect, so I will recast Satya for 6 mana. I will pass the turn.
I will play a Swamp for turn, and then I will just go ahead and, for the first time, play my commander. Teysa Karlov, a 2/4 that says if a creature dying would cause a triggered ability of a permanent I control to trigger, I get an additional trigger. And creature tokens I control have vigilance and lifelink. But that's gonna be it. I'll pass a turn.
All right, well, we'll just pay 6 and take a pain to redeploy Excel. And I'll pass to the end step and get a card from Veggie and Joe.
All right, face up.
I'll play Mirrex.
Great.
My God.
When Mirrex enters the battlefield, it can make a mana of any color. That doesn't matter. It can also make a Wingding. And I can pay 3 to make a Phyrexian Mite with Toxic One that can't block. I'll pass. I've always wanted to be an agent of chaos.
All right, at my upkeep, can't thop, won't thop, and I will draw a card. I'll go to combat, I guess, and try and draw a card. I will send this to one of the players that has not said that their entire hand is removal. So Joe, 1 to you.
You're not willing to risk your...
No, I need to draw the card.
That's fair. No blocks.
Okay.
Kill it. I take it.
I will draw a card from Thought Spy Networker. Okay, when in doubt, play the cards in your hand. I will play a land. I'll tap 2 for a Thought Vessel, so I have no max hand size. And I will pay 3 for a Mirror Box. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents I control. Legendary creatures I control get +1/+1, and each non-token creature I control gets +1/+1 for each other creature that I control with the same name as that creature. So for now, this does nothing for me, but later it might. I will pass.
I'm gonna go ahead and play a swamp as my land for turn, and then I'm going to play a spawning pit. I can sacrifice a creature to put a charge counter on it, and I can also pay 1, remove 2 charge counters to make a 2/2 spawn artifact creature token and put that into play. And then I'll pass the turn.
Here's an arcane signet. Let's go to combat. I'm going to send Excel Nerd Girl's way.
Kill it. Path to exile. We're gonna exile a creature you control.
Ooh. All Imp's Mischief. I can change the target of single spell of with a single target. I lose life equal to that spell's mana value. As much as I would like to, I think Satya is what scares me most.
It doesn't even have any things to copy.
Yet.
Wow, how dare you? Well, okay, so that resolves.
So the path to exile, its target has changed. It is pointing, and I will take 1 for the spell.
Great, I'm gonna redirect it. I'm gonna cast this Return the Favor. And in fact, I'm going to choose both spree options, both copy it and choose new targets for the copy and redirect the original.
We did say we were friends. We were partners.
Honestly, even if we weren't, I'm not worried about this right now. I'm going to redirect to Ixel, and I'm going to hit the Tyrant Guard.
Yeah.
Okay. Before that resolves, all heroic intervention. My stuff gets hexproof and indestructible.
What nonsense.
Okay, so...
Yeah, so
after all that, Joe's catching strays over here.
Yeah, definitively catching strays.
To be fair, Joe, it was a 1, 2, 3, 4 for 1. We spent 4 cards to kill your 9/9.
And I get a land, so I didn't even lose one.
I feel like that was a really good trade.
We'll go ahead and go to my end step, and I'll get a card from Veggie and Joe.
At the end of the turn, with Mirrex, I'll make a Mite. All right, we will tap 5 mana, leaving all my leaving all my basics untapped.
I respect tapping Mirrex.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am tapping Mirrex here, and I will pay 6 for Roisin. And when she enters, we're gonna mill the top 6 cards. So we're gonna mill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow! I'll get Pest Infestation, because there is nothing else to get. And it is a really good Pest Infestation here. I'm about to get this. What a dumb card to draw. Let's see what we can do for the grand total for. So this is X is going to be 1 for each of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So 20 mana. We're going to do X equals 10 on Pest Infestation. I can destroy X target artifacts and or enchantments and create twice that many pests. I will target.
Don't worry about it.
Oh no, don't worry about it.
I was so tempted to use this on Airball's Heroic Intervention just for the memes, but I was a good boy and I held back this Fierce Guardianship. I don't get to cast a Fierce Guardianship very often, but this one feels great.
What does it do?
I'm just gonna counter your spell. Bye.
But I wanted 20 pests. Or no, I wanted 20 pests. Now, obviously, making 20 1/1s was going to be really, really good, and blowing up 10 artifacts was going to be really, really good. But did Veggie really have to counter it? I mean, I only had a Castle Embereth on the board to give them +1/+1 on top of that, so I would have had 40 power. Was that even a big deal? I'll pass you, jerk.
Yeah. At my upkeep, I'll make another Thopter, and then I will draw. All right, I'm just going to go to combat. I'm going to send 1 Thopter at Joe, 1 Thopter at NerdGirl, and Satya, because Menace, will go to Airball. I have nothing to copy, but I will still get 2 energy.
No blocks.
No blocks.
Okay, Satya is in fact 4 because of Mirror Box. I will draw 2 cards from Thopter Spy Network. I'll pay 1 for a Reconnaissance. I can pay 0 to remove an attacking creature I control from combat and untap it. Pass.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start by tapping 6 to cast Liliana Dreadhorde General. She's a planeswalker that comes into play with 6 loyalty. And whenever a creature I control dies, I get to draw a card. I can plus her to make a 2/2 zombie. I can minus her to make each player sacrifice 2 creatures. I can also -9 to allow each opponent to choose 1 permanent of each permanent type and sacrifice the rest. Playing Liliana is always a risk. I look like a huge threat, but really I just need zombies so I can sacrifice for mana, and I need cards. She does all of those things, but hopefully she doesn't draw too much fire before I can actually do them. I'm gonna go ahead and immediately plus her and go to 7 to make a zombie token. And I get a little Zombo, because I like Zombos. And then I will pass the turn.
Okay. We'll start here with a Kessig Wolf Run, courtesy of Joe. It taps for colorless, but also I can tap it for a Gruul +X, and one of my creatures gets +X/+0 and trample until end of turn. So we're gonna go to combat, and I'm gonna ship Ixel over to Veggie for 2 in the air.
I'm fine with it. No blocks.
Wow.
Great.
Pump away.
I will not pump at you.
Okay.
I'll just continue as I currently am.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll go ahead and play a Reaper of Shieldred. It's 2/5 infect, and whenever anything deals damage to Reaper of Shieldred, that source's controller gets a poison counter. And then we'll just go ahead and pass to my end step, and I'll get some cards from Veggie and Joe.
This is weird. Okay, let's tap 5. We have 5 floating mana, and then we have 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25. Counting by 2s. 25 mana. X equals 24 on Nyxborn, or no, X equals 23 on bestowing Nyxborn Hydra, targeting Roshin.
Oh.
So this is a creature that enters with X +1/+1 counters, and enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on it. It also has Trample Reach, and because it's a bestow creature, it gives Trample Reach. And now I sit in this spot of who do I kill? All right, Veggie, if you don't draw 2 cards next turn, if you take the turn off from drawing those 2 cards, I will swing at NerdGirl.
I am very okay with that.
Okay, I will swing at NerdGirl with a biggin.
All right, well, double blocking doesn't help me, so I need to find a 2-mana answer because I currently only have a 3-mana answer. So that is less than ideal. So I will use the altar to sack the zombie first, which will trigger the Liliana and float a mana. I'll get to draw 2 cards thanks to Teysa. Found a 2-mana card, it was sorcery speed. So I need to continue trying to find an answer, so I will use the altar to sack the Teysa herself. I will still get to draw 2 cards, and I will float a white for 1 more shot at a 2-mana answer. And nope, neither of those things get me out of it. So I will take 26 commander and die.
Well, I have declared myself a threat, and I will declare it's your turn, Veggie.
Okay, well, we know I have 2 lands in hand. I'll get another Thopter, so I have 3 that can swing this turn, but I cannot draw the cards from that. So this card better be real good. I can't help us, but I can do a cool thing.
Well, that's almost as good.
Yeah. I'm going to pay 3 for this Glasspool Mimic. I can have it enter as a copy of a creature I control, except it's a shapeshifter rogue in addition. I'm gonna have it enter as a copy of Satya. And since the legend rule does not apply to me, they can both exist in harmony. Satya has haste, so I'll go to combat, and I will swing both of these at Joe, triggering both of them. I will have one of them copy the other one, and vice versa. So I'm going to end up with 4 Satyas, 2 of which are copies, all swinging at Joe. That will result in another 4 energy as well. But then I'm just gonna use Reconnaissance. I'm gonna pull them all out of combat. Then I will pass to my end step, and I will pay 4 energy to save one of the Satya copies, but I don't quite have enough to save the other one. So yeah, I guess I'll pass with 3 Satyas and a hope and a dream.
If I try my best to solve the Joe problem this turn, I have an amnesty for a turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and go to combat, and we'll ship the team over at Joe. It's 2 infect and 2 toxic in the air.
I will use 3 treasures. I will cast Chaos Warp targeting your commander.
Targeting Ixal.
Targeting Ixal. Yep, that's my play.
Airball, do you have an answer for that?
No.
I'm gonna pay 3 mana.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to exile my Plaza of Heroes to give target legendary creature hexproof and indestructible until end of turn.
Okay, yeah, that works. I'll block here, I guess. The best I can do, I guess.
So I'll go ahead and I'll activate Kessig Wolfrun, taking a pain to give Reaper of Shieldred +2/+0.
Yep.
So now it's a 4/5, go to 7. And then we'll pay 1 to Berserk it.
Ooh!
It'll gain trample and +X/+0 where X is its power, currently 4, so now it's an 8/5. And then at the beginning of the next end step, destroy it if it attacked this turn. So it will currently trample through for 6 infect. And when Nexus deals combat damage to it, you'll take an additional poison. So we have some wiggle room here. And also Excel's coming in the air.
I have nothing, so you don't need wiggle room. Yeah, I am dead. I don't have anything.
It's definitely dead poison.
Killing Joe here is going to cost me an awful lot of resources that maybe I can't afford. But Veggie's at 3 poison, I have 3 more in hand, and it buys me a turn to find another answer off the top of my deck and Veggie's deck. So I think this is my best chance to win the game. Now we'll go ahead and play a command tower from exile belonging to Veggie. And we'll just deploy a Phyrexian Crusader. 2/2, first strike, pro-red, pro-white, infect.
Yikes.
And then I'll go ahead and go to end step. Exile will trigger, I'll get a Veggie card, and Reaper of Shieldred will die.
I will get a Thopter at my upkeep and draw a card. Like I said, not gonna do anything to you, but I will almost. I'm gonna go to combat. I'm going to send 3 Satyas your way.
The I'm not touching you of Commander.
I'm touching you.
They are each going to make more copies of Satya, so I'll end up with 3 additional and 6 more energy to go to 9. But then I will reconnaissance and pull them all back out of combat and just play a land and move to my end step, and I will save 2 of the copies, so I'll end up with a total of 5 Satyas. And pass.
All right. Let's go ahead and drown in Ichor one of your Thopters. Neg 4, and proliferate.
But you get an energy.
Well, he hasn't decided if he's proliferating.
I will proliferate onto Veggie.
All right, yep, down to 4 Thopters. Add an energy, add a poison.
We're going to Unnatural Restoration, return target permanent from my graveyard to hand, proliferate. We'll add a poison to Veggie.
Okay.
I'll return Hand of the Praetors with Unnatural Restoration. We'll come on in with Ixel.
I will put all 4 of my Thopters in front of it.
Okay, 2 of them will die.
Okay.
We'll deploy the Hand of the Praetors. He's back. 3/2 Infect, Anthem for Infect, and whenever I cast a creature spell with Infect, you get a poison. And I'll play a tapped Overgrown Tomb and go to my end step and take your top card.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna make a Thopter in my upkeep. I'm gonna draw a card. I'm gonna play a land, and then I'm gonna go to combat and swing all of my creatures. The Satyas are going to trigger and make 5 more Satyas for a total of 8 Satyas. They all have Menace. Good luck.
Yeah, I'll take a lot.
Yeah. Good game.
Energy!
I'll double block, so that you have to hit the Hand of the Praetors, and after I die, you will get another poison.
Yeah. I'll remove that one from combat.
Perfect.
You should get expelled for that.
Is it because I didn't set it up or make a joke, or I just set a reference?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I actually played D&D with him one time, X. He was great. He was a good DM. DMX, we called him.
Stop it.
Am I gonna make you lose your mind? Up in here, up in here.
Veggie, make it stop.
Besides winning the game, I got to do literally everything I've ever dreamed of in Magic. Calvor made a perfect deck that goes big, makes big mana, and then the creatures are even bigger than that mana somehow. Absolutely perfect gameplay for me.
Don't forget to support your favorite Commander show by doing something you were going to do anyway, and that's buy Magic singles. And you can do so by using our sponsor, TOA.
It really is that easy, and Tales of Adventure has a wide selection of singles from the most basic printings all the way through the most premium versions, and they've also started stocking sealed product now, so you don't need to go anywhere else for anything Magic.
And you get 5% off your entire order when you use code DECKEDOUT at checkout.
And you should know by now, the link is down in the description, right there.
Aren't you supposed to keep hands with more than 2 lands, Veggie?
I also didn't.
They always give me crap for
Cut that out, cut it. Don't let that stay in the episode.
Thanks again to Knight of Bawa. I'm sorry I didn't excel while playing it, but as far as my final word, I think I like the deck's power, points for originality, and I'm really excited to take it into the office again next week.
If you're building decks and you're not using Moxfield, then I feel bad for you. It just is the best tool for organizing, customizing, and collaborating on all of your decks.
In fact, it's the only way that our team can keep up with building sometimes over 20 decks per month. And it's the way that we can share our deck lists with you in a nice, easy format.
You can always support the show too, just by following us on Moxfield, where you can find every deck that's ever been on the show. Show the full search time. Show the entire thing. Show how much time could have been saved if Joe had done that at some other point.
Wouldn't it have taken as much time because we wouldn't have shortcut it to begin with?
Don't.
You're ruining the magic.
They don't know that. The joke is.
I couldn't have asked for a better commander for a patron to submit for our 4 CMC game. I really love Teysa. I think the deck did a lot of work, even though I was strapped on cards, strapped on mana, and really didn't find any token generation. I think the deck played extremely well. Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG accessories.
And Ultimate Guard products are the way that all 3 of us on the Decked Out team are able to organize, protect, and display our collections. And they're the best way to show off all of our cards on camera for you.
So make sure you use the link down below in the description to support the show and pick yourself up some amazing upgrades.
So, I will go. You're on that?
You're gonna draw 3 cards right now. That's a lot.
She's so jealous.
I am very jealous. On the current board state right now, that's the coolest thing.
Agreed.
I mean, I could have played literal anything and that would be true.
That's a really good follow-up to a board clear. I'm just sad.
The Satya Artificer Samba Symposium was the most resilient of the 4 mana value commander decks and was able to get me a win. Thanks, Twilight Sovereign. Sometimes all you need is a little sass. Yeah, nope, doesn't work, can't do it.
We'd like to wrap up the video by thanking our patrons and YouTube members. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to film this episode.
Yeah, it is specifically thanks to patrons and members like you, Catherine, that were able to make this show weekly, and that is a huge deal. Thanks.
And if you'd like to be like our patrons who submitted today's deck lists, Twilight Sovereign, Wesley, Knight of Bawa, and Kelvor, and submit your very own list for us to play here on the show, head on over to our Patreon and get other exclusive perks like signed tokens or play some spell table games with us.
And of course, Katie, you can always support the show by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That's all we've got for you for today. We'll see you next time on
Decked Out.